Hello, today's e-learning lesson is going to be about Claude Debussy. He was born in 1862, so that was quite a while ago. He was born in Saint-Germain-en-Laye, which is a small town with a very large name, very close to Paris in France. There was only about 18 miles between the two of them, so I guess it would be like a suburb of Paris at this time. So what was going on in the world in 1862? Well, the United States was going through a civil war. Abraham Lincoln was president, and the first automobile was invented. Somehow, by the looks of that automobile, I don't think it had Wi-Fi. His parents found a way to give him piano lessons when he was 7 years old, and he began to show enormous promise and was a very talented child. He began to study at the Paris Conservatory. Now, that's a special school that teaches music only to the most talented students, and he started there when he was 11. And this is a picture of the Paris Conservatory in more modern days, but this one shows what it probably looked like in the inside when Claude Debussy was there. This is a picture of their concert hall. Well, he studied there for a while, and his teachers were really puzzled by his music writing because Debussy did not want to follow the rules of music composition. He preferred to break the old rules and think outside the box. He used combinations of chords that were kind of considered odd at the time. So he stayed at the Paris Conservatory until he was 22. Then he won a competition called the Prix de Rome, and that was a special award that allowed him to study in Rome for 3 years. So he traveled from Paris to Rome. But after about 2 years of being there, he really missed Paris. So he went back home. And once home, he composed music for people who hired him to create music for them. Many of his works used something called a whole tone scale. Now, we're used to hearing a lot of things in major, so it would sound something like this. We do that a lot. And there's also the minor mode, which sounds like this. But Debussy thought, I'm going to try something different. And he heard this whole tone scale done by another composer, and his last name was Messiaen. And Debussy really liked it, so he used it in many of his compositions. It's called the whole tone scale, and it goes like this. So it is very different than what we're used to. He composed at a time called Impressionism, when music sounded very dreamy sounding. Many people of the time called him an impressionistic composer, but he really preferred to be called a modernist. So if you look at what was happening in the world of art during this time, this is a picture, of a watercolor leaf. Now you notice all of the detail that is in this leaf. You can see the veins and the way the different colors are kind of blending in together. But in the Impressionistic times, paintings looked more like this. So you could tell what it was, but the detail wasn't there. It was sort of like looking at something through a veil, or for me, looking at something without my glasses. And music began to take on that kind of mood. Debussy used free-flowing melodies and really relaxed rhythms. When he was 25, he went to the Paris World Exposition, and that was the year 1887. And here he heard a Javanese gamelan ensemble group from Indonesia. So Indonesia is a lot of islands. And you see it's very close to the Philippines, Vietnam, Thailand, Cambodia, and way down here we even have Australia. So it's kind of like for us, the other side of the world. So when he heard this music, he thought, oh, that sounds absolutely amazing. The instruments were of a gamelan ensemble. They use a lot of bells and xylophones and metallophones. And actually, in our music room, the metallophones were actually inspired by gamelan's ensemble. And here are the xylophones and metallophones back here. And these almost look like pots with lids on them, but they are musical instruments. So let's take a look at what an ensemble would sound like. It's coming, slow but sure. So this was a very interesting sound to Debussy, and he thought this would be very good to create in my music. So he decided to put that along with the whole tone scale and create something called the Prelude to the Afternoon of a Faun. In French, it's Prélude à l'après-midi d'une faune. And it is Prelude to the Afternoon of a Faun, but they didn't mean this kind of faun. Now, this kind of faun is just kind of cuteness wrapped in fur. Just an amazing little creature. What Debussy meant was this kind of faun. And I guess he is cute too. And he is furry in some ways. But this is a mythical creature that is half goat and half person. And it was really kind of a lazy and mischievous creature. Oftentimes, pictures of a faun show it holding a flute or panpipes. In some cultures, this creature is called Pan, and the pipes he holds are panpipes. As you listen to L'après-midi d'une faune, close your eyes and imagine a scene where there is a mythical faun. What does the scene look like? Are there trees? Or maybe a meadow? Is it a cloudy day? A sunny day? Is the temperature hot or cold? What is the faun doing? Are there others with him? Imagine as you listen to this piece. It is 12 minutes long, so you'll have plenty of time. Here we go. This is the Frankfurt Symphony. So Debussy really thought outside of the box. And there's the faun. Did you picture him doing different things? Well, Debussy was a very famous composer in Europe. He felt like he needed to live like a very wealthy person. So he lived in very extravagant homes and he had servants. He was always spending more money than he made, so he was always in debt. He lived during World War I, and at the time coal was used to heat homes, and there was not much coal for people to use since so much of it was being used to help fight the war. Debussy was always short of money, so he actually wrote music to the coal sellers to pay for his shipments of coal. What is the next one on here? Not that one. So Debussy was always out of money. He died in 1916 when he was 55 years old from cancer. And even though he had a relatively short life, he left behind many amazing works, and he influenced many composers who came after him. Hope you enjoyed this. Enjoy the rest of your day.